great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Thursday, March 20th, and this is episode 791 of the Immigration Answer Show. I'll be here for the next hour. My name is Jim Hacking. I'm an immigration attorney practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. How are you all doing? How is your fast going? If you are fasting during Ramadan, how is your week going? Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. And then the weekend will be here. You're going to do anything fun for the weekend? Let us know in the comments. Let us know how you're doing. I saw some messages of hope that I thought I'd share. I like this one from Traylene. Good morning. I'm changing my way of thinking and allowing hope to reign over my life. Thank you for believing in this process, encouraging us to rely on a higher power. You're awesome, Jim. Yes, I like positivity. I like positivity. We gotta keep things in perspective. Nikki says, every obstacle is a chance to learn, grow, and become stronger. Have a great day. What a great message that is. I love it. I love the positive messages. Arctic Champ must have seen my TikTok. Did you guys know that I have a TikTok that I posted 2 days ago after the show, and it has 3 million views. It's our biggest TikTok of all time. It went to 3 million views in about 2.5 days, which is pretty crazy. We've never had one over 1.3, and that took like a year to get that high. So it's sort of crazy. Laura says, hi, friends. Glad the show is starting a little early. I have a meeting in 10 minutes. At least I get to be here for a little bit. Well, hello, Nurse Laura. And our old friend Fatuma is here. Ramadan Mubarak to you, Fatuma. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let me hear from you. Let us know. If you're new to the show, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and we'd love to hear from you. If you want to get in the waiting room and ask me a question, you should text the word show to 314-470-3300. That's the way to get into the waiting room. The waiting room is now full an hour or two before the show even starts, so your best bet is going to be to get in there early. It's gotten so bad that we have to I have to get into the waiting room before we send out the text. Otherwise, I get locked out, which I think is bizarre, but that's how it is. All right. Big ups to all the Yardies. Thank you for that. Path Divergence, for sure, for sure. We were just talking to Brianna, who is one of our new intake attorneys, and she's originally from Jamaica. So she's coming on the show real soon. I know Donna will be excited about that. Let's go ahead and get the show started. I'll take questions from the waiting room in YouTube, and then I will hop on over to take questions from TikTok, assuming Hina's here, and she is, so we're good. Jim, my brother, how are you doing? I'm doing pretty well. Tekatal, thank you. I'm doing pretty well, I would say. Today's the 20th day of fasting, and I watched this amazing show, and I read the book called Say Nothing. It's about the Troubles in Northern Ireland, and it talks about these two sisters specifically, and they went on a hunger strike. I don't know how anyone can go on a hunger strike. I get to eat when the sun goes down, and I'm still dragging. I still feel sort of tired 3 weeks in. It's always the sleep in Ramadan. It's always the sleep. It's not the food. It's the sleep, just because everything gets sort of knocked off. But we're going to talk to Carlos, and then we'll talk to Lucia, and then we'll talk to I-495. I'll be interested to hear about that. All right, Carlos, how you doing?
Doing good.
What's up?
So I wanted to ask about, so I have a marriage case. I got married in February 3rd. I've been with my couple for 4 years now. So we just got married, and I'm about to file. And I just wanted to ask you if you recommend doing it online, like filing the 130A. And I wanted to ask if I could include like the medical exam with it too, or do you think it would be easier if I like file I-130 and 138 and then wait for an answer? What I just
Sure. So first of all, congratulations on getting married. That's great.
Thank you.
Um, I'm assuming that you're inside the United States.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so what we do at our office and what we recommend that people do is you file the I-130, the I-130A, the I-485, the I-765, the I-693, which is your sealed medical, and the I-864 all in one packet.
Okay.
That's how
Uh,
we do it.
got you. Um, and I downloaded your evidence marriage
Great.
list. Thank you
Good.
so much, by the way. Like,
Sure,
we
sure.
got a lot. We have a lot of information that we can put on the case, so that's great.
Good,
Uh,
good, good.
and that list really helped us like gather all of our
What's your
stuff.
what's your current immigration status?
So I'm from Venezuela. I'm on the TPS, and um, it should be, well, I don't really know what's happening with that. Well, I know, but
How did you enter?
so I came with a tourist visa back in 2015.
Okay, good.
So I've been living here for a long time. Um, and yeah, recently married.
So you need to
Um,
hurry up and get that on file because you're out of status.
yes, so yeah, I will be. I'm with the TPS of 2021, so it
Yeah, but
should
they're gonna.
expire. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So just I'm just saying, hurry up, man. Just hurry up.
Okay.
And I would make sure, Carlos. I don't know if you've been following the news, but you know that a lot of people in 2022, 2023 were paroled in from Venezuela. If I were you, I would highlight on my cover letter that I came on a visa in 2015, um, as
Okay.
as opposed to make sure they know that you're not paroled because those cases are being paused right now. USCIS isn't processing Venezuelan parolee cases when they marry a U.S. citizen right now. They're just sitting on them.
Yes. So that cover letter, can I attach it together? Like that should be like the first thing that they see on
Yep,
the evidence.
that's what we do. Yep.
Okay. So, um, awesome. Can you repeat again the forms, the package form that
Hey,
you file
Carlos,
everything together?
I'm happy to
Yes.
do that, Carlos, but I'm a little bit worried. It seems like you're sort of fumbling around with things, and this is not the time to fumble around. You probably need to get a lawyer, but I'm happy to tell you what the forms are.
Okay.
So it's the I-130, the I-130A. Then
Mm-hmm.
you have to you wanted to just file that. That would do you no good. You need the 485 on file. That's what conceivably protects you from deportation, that you have a pending 485, right?
I-45.
I-485, then the I-765, which is for your work authorization,
Mm-hmm.
and then you need
So
your sealed
I
medical, and your spouse has to sign an affidavit of support. That's the I-64.
I-64. Okay. Awesome. Well, Jim, thank you so much for your time and for all your help.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, that was Carlos. We'll go to Lucia, and then I-495, and then Emma K. Hello, Lucia. You're on mute, Lucia. And now you're still on mute, Lucia. We can't hear you. All right, we'll come back. Let's go to I-495. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon to you and all. Um, okay, a couple of questions here. Oh, by the way, the I-495, I'm referencing the Beltway around DC, not the Forum.
Got it. I thought maybe it was a
Got it.
highway name. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, the other day you had on the show, I believe a young woman, and she was on Medicaid, um, and or Medicare, the one that when you're not old. Anyways, she was pregnant, and she was asking about public assistance. I mean the public charge, and I believe you said that she would be subject to that. So in my case, my see same-sex marriage. My man came in 20 years ago, and we've been together for 7 years, 4 of which we've been married. Anyways, 10 years ago, he was diagnosed with HIV. So
Yeah.
when I went to the USCIS website, it says that public assistance program that that USCIS does not consider is Medicaid is one of them. So he was where he was living at the time. His state provided him with care in his medication, and both of us are totally fine. He takes his medication, I take my medication,
Yeah.
so there's no issues there. But still, though, like he was on that state Medicaid program. So my question to you is, I'm just confirming, because based on what I'm reading on the website, it looks like this would not be inadmissible. Uh, it would not apply.
So just to make clear, he's
Yeah,
the immigrant.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm the citizen. He's the immigrant. Yes.
Okay. And does he work?
He's working now. Yeah, he was able to get his status. He was able to get his status through my military parole.
Okay.
Or my military service, and that's my next question too, because you had someone on the show yesterday also, but
What's his current? So he has a green card?
We are still in the process of getting his green card. It's been filed. It's been filed. We're just waiting.
Okay. When you say he has his status, he doesn't have any real status, right?
He has an I-94 because under we had to submit the I-131 for the military parole, and
Yep.
then he was granted status, and then that status comes in 1 year increments. So, and then once he got his status, we applied for the 485, and he got his EAD, and he's now working. But
Great.
he was definitely not working though before I put that rule that you're not going to work. When he came to live with me, it was like, I put the foot down. But anyway, so yeah. So my question has to do first with the public charge.
So a couple things. Number one is, how long has your green card case been pending?
November 23 is when they received it says that they took our fee. And then he went for his fingerprints, I think, like a few weeks later. But so it was November 23, 2023.
And nothing since then. No interview.
Nothing since then. And believe me, I know we're building up the money for the $5,500, we can get you on board with that.
Okay. All right. So and then, I don't know how long you've been listening to the show, but there was a time period where I was telling people, screw USCIS, you don't have to mark that you're subject to the public charge scrutiny. But you said yes, that he was subject to the scrutiny. And your question is the fact that he got benefits 10 years ago from state agency going to make them find him a public charge? That's the question?
Exactly.
I think that's very unlikely, especially given the fact that he's working. That's why I asked. So it's like a totality of the circumstances. It's not just a silver bullet. You are per se inadmissible. I think you're going to sail right through this. I wouldn't be worried about that. Do you make enough money to support him?
Yeah, I totally make enough money.
Yeah, so you're fine. I wouldn't worry about this at all.
Yeah, other than the fact that it's been well over a
year now. Two
years now. Yeah. 1 year.
Yep.
So my other question is, yesterday, someone also called. They were going through the process, and they were going to be using military parole. And you said that is currently on hold.
No, I didn't say that. I said all the parole programs from the countries are on pause. Okay. And there's a question as to whether or not Trump's going to keep honoring the military parole. That's what I should have said if I didn't.
I gotcha. Okay. Yep. That was it. Thank you, sir.
Have a great day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I liked it. Every now and then he had a little bit of a Boston accent in there. He sounded like President Kennedy every now and then. That was neat. All right. Let's go to Emma, hello.
Hi. So, thank you, first of all, very much. I know that a lot of people tell you that, but I really appreciate what you're doing for all of us.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. So, my situation is my husband is a green card holder. He's in the United States right now. He lives here. And I came here and I overstayed my visa to stay with him because we have one kid together. And I found out that I'm pregnant with our second one. And I know that right now the process takes a while. And we talked to lawyers already. They told us that for me, the best option would definitely to go back to Germany because I'm from Germany and wait there like for 3 years. It can take up to 3 years until the process is done and then come back. But for us, it was like very hard to live separately because he didn't came into the US for 5 years and he didn't even know if they would let him in with the green card. But he just had to pay a fee. He got a waiver and he could keep it. But they told him, don't like go back to Germany because then we will just take it away. So he has to stay here. And that means for us, I can't adjust my status until he's a citizen. This is what we were told. And our lawyer told us to file Form I-130. And I know in one of your videos, you told that it's not smart to file Form I-130 without Form like 485.
If
But
you're planning, on staying, if you're planning on going back to Germany, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. If you're going back to Germany, you wouldn't file the 485.
yeah, that's true. But I'm not like planning going back to Germany. I'm planning to staying here. But in my case, I can't like apply how I understood it from a lawyer. I can't apply for Form 485 because my husband is not a citizen yet, right?
Yeah, and so when you said he paid that fine and came back in after a long trip abroad, when did that happen?
Last year in December.
December of 24 or
Yes,
23?
24.
Okay. So he has to wait 4 years and 1 day to apply. So that's 2028. So that means you're planning on staying here out of status for like 3.5 years. That seems risky to me.
Yeah, it is risky, definitely. It's definitely risky. I know that. But like, do you have any other like I don't know, any other ways to do it except of going back to Germany? Because like I understand it would be definitely like the smartest way, but like with two kids living alone for like 2 or 3 years, like I'm it's not possible for me, you know?
I understand. Yeah, I do understand. I mean, as a lawyer, though, I've got to tell you that under the current conditions, I think it's very unsafe for you to plan on being here without having any trouble for the next 3 years. I think then they could put you in removal, and then things are a whole lot. I mean, you think it's tough living here, you know, or living in Germany for 2 years. I mean, they could detain you. They could, make it really difficult. They could give you an expedited removal order and give you a 5-year bar on coming back. And to me, I would file the I-130. I'd go back to Germany, and you can come back on your visa waiver, once or twice for 3 months at a time. And I think that's what I would do.
Okay. But in that case, that if I would stay like in Germany, I have my own company. I was working there as a content creator. And I know that I am like here in America, obviously, because I'm not on a pending status for like my green card or whatever, I don't have work permission. And am I still allowed if I stay here to still work for my German company in Germany? I have a German bank account, everything in Germany and not like here, or am I not allowed to do that?
So I think it's pushing the envelope. I think it's a pretty aggressive stance to try to work for your German company, keep your money in Germany, all that stuff. Certainly for 3 years, I would say that's pushing it.
Okay.
The laws are not set up to match the current technological conditions. In other words, the laws were written before the internet. And so, working in their mind back then was you can't work in the United States for a US employer and do work in the United States and get paid as an employee in the United States. So, you're sort of far away from that. But the thing you have to ask yourself is one day I'm going to be having to defend myself when I'm trying to get my green card and I'm sitting there in an interview and I'm trying to justify my stuff to the immigration officer. As things stand now, that work, as long as you're honest about it, would be forgiven, but that would be one more strike on your, I think they're only going to make things harder for people like you that want to stay here for 3 years like that. I think it's really, really tough.
Okay, and because I heard like from people who come here illegally, especially like Mexicans, I know that because I have friends and family here, and they told me that they just apply for the ITIN and then they start working here with like paying taxes and everything. Is that like an option or?
No, that's totally different. That's people that either got paroled in or filed for asylum. That's got nothing to do with you.
Okay, got it. So you would say, like in my case, you told me to like file for I-130. Do I have to wait until it's approved to go back to Germany?
No.
Just go back, look like with a waiver, you told me, right?
No, you entered. Did you have a visa or did you enter on ESTA?
ESTA.
Yeah, so that's visa waiver. That's called visa waiver. So no, I would just file. I mean, you could file the I-130 before you leave or after you leave, but then that's going to be pending for 14 months. So then you can try to come back to see your husband a couple times a year with the kids, and they may or may not let you back in.
Okay, may or may not, right?
That's
So it's
right.
not hard number. Okay, thank you very much.
Good luck, Emma.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Let's go back to Lucia, see if she's got her audio working. Lucia, are you there? You're on mute. All right. I think Lucia's out of here. Emma's out of here. Let's go take some comments from TikTok. What you got, Hina? Oh, no. Hina? Nope. All right. So we don't have any TikTok questions. Is TikTok working? Let me see if I can pull some up. Applying for citizenship. Do you have to list arrests that occurred over 20 years ago? No convictions. Absolutely yes. Oh, somebody sent me perfume on TikTok. I guess I stink. Can I file a fiance visa to be on valid status before filing for adjustment? My spouse and I don't live yet. Fiance visas are only for people who are overseas. You can't file a fiance visa for someone who's here in the United States, if that's the question. Mr. T, hello.
Hey, Mr. Jim, how you doing, sir?
I'm well. How are you doing?
Mr. Jim, I've been trying to reach you for a long time.
Well, here
I've
we
been
are.
watching you.
Let's
I've been
roll.
watching you for like 7 years now.
Wow. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes, you're my best immigration lawyer, the best in America.
Appreciate that.
My family and I love you so much, man.
Thanks,
Thank you
man.
for what you do. God bless you. Thank you so much for what you do
Sure.
for the immigrant community.
My pleasure.
Thank
I love doing it.
Yes, Mr. Jim, I have 2 cases pending with NVC. I just have a few questions about these cases.
Okay, sure.
Pardon me, it's going to take maybe a few minutes, but not too long anyway. Just pardon
Totally
me.
fine.
I'm not really a quick talker like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have I have issues with the. Okay, first of all, let me just give you a brief about the case. I have for my 2 kids, I-129 IR2 for my 2 kids.
Yeah.
So I had issues with the IA64 that delayed my case for like 3 months. I didn't know I used the wrong IA64. So NVC sent a letter and I had to do the right one. So I'm wondering, I also have a case, an I-129F for my fiance. So I'm wondering which of the IA64 to use when it eventually, when the welcome letter eventually comes.
Oh, brother, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about affidavits of support. I pay no attention to that because it's always changing. And as I just said to some of our lawyers, one of the pleasures of owning your own law firm is you don't have to worry about affidavits of support. So wait, I want to back up though. Were you born in the United States?
No, I'm a naturalized citizen
How did you get your green card?
through marriage.
And this person that you're engaged to now, are they from your home country?
Yes.
How long have you known them?
About 4 years now.
And when did you get divorced?
It was about the same. I got divorced before I met this person.
Okay. And is this person the mother of your children?
No, she's not. She's not.
Okay.
In fact, there was an RFE about this whole thing. It was crazy. Yeah, it was a big RFE they sent to me, but I was cleared after I sent all the documents, and they really found out that I'm
So
telling the
so
truth.
so back home, you had children with person number one. Did you marry that person number one, their mother?
Yeah, the person passed away.
They passed away. Okay, and then you came to America and married a U.S. citizen,
Yes,
and then that person got you a green card. You got your citizenship. Then you got divorced, and now you're engaged to this new person in the home country.
yes.
Got it. Okay. I don't know about which affidavit of support you use on a fiance case. I think it's a different form. I think it's called an I-134. I don't think it's the same one that you use, the one that you did for your kids. But that's all I know.
Okay, yeah, but I was able to do the right one after about 3 months. I didn't even check the SIAC website until like 3 months. I just decided to check, and I noticed uh, there's something pending, and I checked for the IS64. So I had to do my research, and I watch your videos a lot, and I was able to get the right one, and I filled it out and sent it to them, and it was DQ'd sometime last year. Till now, I'm still waiting. It's still at the embassy. I don't know why it hasn't got to the embassy yet. So,
What embassy are you talking about?
Nigeria.
Yeah, so I mean they're really backlogged. You're talking a year and a half or so.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's much. I guess that's much. So I don't know. What about the scheduling of the interview? Do you know if it's the embassy that schedules the interview
Yep.
or
Yep.
okay, okay. Then for the I-129F, uh, is it the applicant or the petitioner that schedules the interview or the embassy?
It depends on the embassy, and for fiance cases, usually you're the ones doing the scheduling, but it depends on the embassy. If you watch the comments, people in the comments will know about how Nigeria does it. I just don't know.
Okay, 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 okay. I have two more questions now before I let you go. I know a lot of people are waiting. So the for the I-129F, it's about 60 days now. I still haven't gotten a welcome letter. So I'm worried about the expiration on this I-129F.
Yeah.
If it expires, assuming I don't get a welcome letter and it expires, so is there a remedy? What do we need to do?
Well, you need to start beating the bushes and figuring out where the case is and why it hasn't been sent, why you haven't heard from the NVC.
Yeah,
But the State Department has the ability, and they often do, just extend that deadline on the fiance case. They don't have to do it, but they usually do.
yeah. I reached out to them, and the first email I sent to them, they said that they hadn't gotten it yet. So I took a picture of the original approval of the I-129F, and
Yeah.
I scanned
No,
to them. And
I'm saying you need to bother USCIS. It's not NBC you need to bother. It's USCIS.
no, I did with USCIS, and they said it's been forwarded to MVC. So I reached out to MVC again with a copy of it, and they have confirmed that they have the case already with them, and
Oh,
that
okay.
they
Then
will send
you're just chilling,
okay, and that they will send me the instructions soon. But I'm worried because it's more than 60 days now. I haven't heard
right?
anything.
Right.
So I was wondering if it expires. I don't want to start all over again. I
Just
was
keep bothering them.
I will. I will. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Mr. Jim. I'm
Bye,
really
Mr.
happy.
T. Have a good day. Keep us posted.
All right, sir. Thank you. God bless you. Bye bye.
Bye, buddy. All right, all right, all right, all right. Is it safe to submit a 1099 with ITIN now? VAWA submitted, or will I be compromised? I don't think anyone's going to be worried about your ITIN and your taxes when it comes to your VAWA. Is it safe to travel to Iran with U.S. passport? I would think so, but if I was an Iranian national originally, I would not leave the United States for a good long while. All right, let's go to Kayla. Hello, Kayla. Kayla, are you there? We can't hear you. We'll come back, Kayla. Let's go to Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hi, how are you? Thank you very much for all your help. I got a very quick question. When I submit my I-485, I answered the question regarding like the have you ever been arrested, seated, charger, and I disclosed that I have a speeding ticket, and I pay for. However, later when I filed the I-751 solo, I did not mention the speed ticket. Could this cause any issues, or I should file the errata sheet that you're talking about, or no?
I love how you said errata sheet because I can't roll my R's. You said it so much better than me.
Oh,
Could you say it could you say it one more time for me just because I
yes,
love it?
errata sheet.
Nice. Yeah,
Thank you.
send the errata sheet. That's exactly what you need to do. Just make sure that you have some kind of proof of delivery so that we can always tell them, "Oh yeah, dude, we FedExed you on April 1st that I had this traffic thing. I forgot to put it on the 751." It's no
But I
big
put it
deal.
in I-485, so I should remind them again in 751.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you, and thank you very much. But it shouldn't be any issues
No.
if I didn't, right?
Well, go ahead and do it, but the fact that you're doing it late is no big deal. It
Oh,
wouldn't it
thank
wouldn't
you.
it doesn't impact whether or not you get the 751 or not. It's just better to clean it all up.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate your help. Have a good day.
You too. All right. Somebody had a question I want to address after that. How much is a consultation in the DC office? So we don't do consultations, Just Genius. The purpose of calling our law firm is to see if you want to hire us, right? That's what, when you talk to an intake specialist, it's all towards the idea that you're thinking about hiring us. We have tons of free information on the internet. We have this show that I do right now during Ramadan just about every day of the week. Otherwise, it's probably about 4 or 5 times a week. We have the YouTube channel with thousands of videos. We have the Facebook group where you can ask questions of people going through the process. There's 15,000 people in there. We have TikTok. We have LinkedIn where I post all my thoughts. So we don't do consults, paid or free. You only get to talk to a lawyer at our office if you're thinking seriously about hiring us. That's why I do the show, so that if I have to answer somebody's questions, I can do it in public and everybody can learn. That's why we do it this way. All right. You guys know I'm going on a road trip, so I'll be gone for a while next week. So I'm going to, I'm going to St. George, Utah. So Salt Lake to St. George. Then I go to San Diego. And then in the middle of my trip in San Diego, I'm going to Social Media Marketing World. It's a conference there about social media stuff. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I have to go up to San Francisco to do an employment-based green card interview in San Francisco. And then I go back to San Diego for a little while. And then I go to Washington, D.C. with Amani and Tim from our office. And I'm going to the EOS conference. EOS is the Entrepreneur's Operating System. It's sort of a book by a guy named Gino Wickman called Traction. And that's sort of how we run our firm, is on the EOS principles. So they have a conference every year. This year it happens to be in Washington, D.C. So Fatuma, I see your comments in the comments. I don't think you're going to see another jump in the visa bulletin in the F2B category until October. Maybe. I mean, when Trump comes in, different things happen with the visa bulletin. Some people get scared and sort of drop out. So I think that there's a chance that it would be jump forward in October. All right, let's go to Jay. Hello, Jay. Well, we did Jay, didn't we? All right, so I'm going to clear out some people, open up some room in the waiting room. Jay, we already did. Let's go to MM. Hello.
Hey, Jim, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Am I audible?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go right ahead.
Yeah. So I just had a couple of quick questions. My wife is a legal permanent resident, and I'm here on an H-1B visa. We're just about to submit the I-130, and I had just 2 questions on that. So
Okay.
we got married about a year ago, and at that time, I did not have the H-1B. I was living back home. And we did not want to live apart for too long. So my wife was going back and forth between the US and my home country.
Yeah.
And so now on the I-130 in the address history, what should she enter? Should she, as the address, should she say that we were living together overseas, or should she say that she was in the US because she was maintaining her domicile here documentarily, like all the bank accounts and tax statements and everything?
So she's the petitioner?
And that's correct.
She's the petitioner. Okay, and talk to me about like lengths of stays in the two countries, if that makes sense.
So overall, definitely over 180 days, but her trips were like 4 months, 5 months, things like that.
I'm sorry, it sort of broke up. So where did she spend most of her time?
So she was overseas with me, and she was taking trips back home where I was for 4 months, and then she used to come back for a month or two to the US and then come back to me. That's how it was.
Yeah, so I would use her US address as her official address.
The US as their address, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's
And
that's
just
her domicile.
another. Yep. And the other quick question was, there's another question on the I-130 that asks if the beneficiary has, if anybody else has petitioned for the beneficiary. So does the H-1B petition count, or is it only for immigration-based intents?
Does the H-1B visa count towards what, MM? I'm sorry, I don't understand.
On the I-130, there's a question that says, has anybody ever filed a petition for the beneficiary?
Yeah, no, that's
so. Does the H-1B petition count?
Generally, no, it doesn't. Are you in the United States, or
Should I answer yes or no? Basically,
are you outside the United States or inside the United States?
I am in the U.S. now.
So you're going to file an I-130 and a 485.
I am in the U.S. now. No, I don't think I can file a 485 because my wife is a legal permanent resident, not a citizen.
Okay. Yep, got it. Okay, I missed that part. Yeah, you might as well disclose it. It's not a big deal either way. Just go ahead and disclose it. I mean, you have to show them how you're validly in the United States anyway. I'm gonna have to let MM go. That delay was driving me nuts. I think he was outside or what. AJ, I don't know if I'm gonna have time. I'm basically flying up and flying back. Maybe I could do breakfast on that Monday, which would be the 31st. Send me an email. Daniel is here. Hello, Daniel.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good, man. Hey, so I am married to a U.S. citizen, and I have my 2-year green card, and we're about to file the I-751 very soon. I have a question though. So, on the original I-485, there was a scenario in the past where I was charged with a with something called menacing.
Menacing, yeah.
And on the I-485, I disclosed everything. I gave them all the court documents, police reports, even a letter from my counselor. The case was dismissed. It was done through a pretrial diversion. Everything was provided to USCIS. But like I said, we're about to file the I-751. So I'm going to disclose everything again because there's a question related to, have you ever been arrested, charged, or whatever? My concern is, do we need a lawyer given it's the Trump administration? They know the whole story from the original I-485, like I said, but we're a bit worried that, oh, you got approved for this last time, but now it's Trump. We're going to make life harder or something. So what do you suggest?
If nothing has changed and that was fully disclosed, I would say that in and of itself would not be a reason necessarily to hire a lawyer, but I generally think everybody should have a lawyer on a 751. So that's sort of my answer, if that makes sense.
It does. Do you think it's going to trigger?
No, I don't think so.
Like, they won't deny it. They may. Do you think they're gonna be incentivized to do an interview or anything about it?
Well, I think pretty much everyone is going to get interviews on 751s here starting pretty soon. Plus, we have to think about, you're not going to get an interview on it for 2 years, and it's probably going to be your naturalization actually that gets you, you might have to wait. I don't know, depending on what the menacing charge just got dismissed, or you got probation, or what happened.
So there was a pre-trial diversion program. Yeah. Basically, I took counseling, and then it got dismissed completely.
So when did that happen?
Like 2019 or 2020.
Okay, so now you're eligible. So okay. So I would go ahead and file the 751, and then I might wait to see how things are going naturalization wise with the Trump team before you file for naturalization. Maybe check back with me then.
Okay. But I have no choice. Obviously, I have to file the 751. Yeah. But is there any other advice you have on this topic regarding the menacing, which was disclosed fully? Any other advice you have? Like, should I say in the notes section, oh, this was disclosed on the original I-485 and explain everything again? Do you think I should do that?
No, just list it. Play it straight.
Just keep it simple, straight? Okay. All right.
Good luck, Daniel.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy. Hey, all you guys, longtime watchers and viewers and listeners of the show, our own Daniel's feeling a little bit under the weather, so please try to send him some good vibes or prayers. He was sick on Tuesday, worked yesterday, and he's sick again today, so we're hoping Daniel feels better. All right, let's see. TikTok. I forgot Hina's off today. So is it the same for daughter citizens applying for parents to adjust their status? Country is orange list. So let's talk about the travel ban just lightly, because it's going to be announced here tomorrow or the next day. Trump can't prohibit people from filing I-130s. Trump can't prohibit USCIS from processing I-130s. Trump can't prohibit the National Visa Center from processing I-130s for people from the banned countries. What he can do is prevent the State Department from giving people visas. I believe that there will be lawsuits against this, that things will be tied up in the courts. So everybody should just keep filing. That's what we did during the last travel ban for all the Muslim countries. We just kept filing. You want to be at the front of the line for when the lights turn back on, when the doors reopen. You want to be first in line. So it's full steam ahead, filing everything, just knowing that it's going to be a good long wait. So I would not let the fact that there's a travel ban for your country affect whether or not you apply, because you might not need to apply right away, but I would file 2 years into the administration so that you can have your case teed up in case a Democrat comes into office, although Robert is pessimistic, our good friend Robert. All right. I'm going to go to VP. Hello. VP, you're on mute.
Hello, Jim.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you.
So I have a question about my adjustment of status filing. So last year I came on a tourist visa, and within 90 days of my arrival I got married, and I also filed for my I-130. And then at the end of my 6-month stay, I filed for my adjustment of status. So everything is smooth now. I received my employment too, but I had a question that whether they're gonna, in the interview, whether they're gonna consider it as a misrepresentation, because I came on a tourist visa, but my actual adjustment of status happened after 90 days, more than 90 days, like after 5 months of my arrival.
So what country was your embassy in that you got your tourist visa?
So I was in Canada on a student visa, and from there I got my tourist visa.
Where are you from originally?
I'm from India.
And what was the purpose of your visit to the United States?
Just to visit friends and family members. I didn't mention anything about marriage or visiting my girlfriend.
Okay. And so where did you enter the United States?
Newark Airport.
And so did you do customs in Canada or did you do customs in New York?
In Canada. They asked me a couple of questions in Canada.
And what did they ask you?
How long you've been staying over there, how much cash you carrying, and yeah, that's it. What are your plans? how soon
And
you're
what,
gonna be coming back in Canada.
what did you
That's it.
tell them your plans were?
I just said that I'm visiting the country and coming back to Canada.
Okay. So who picked you up at the airport?
My wife.
And you went and stayed in the same bed as her on the night you arrived?
Yeah. Same address.
And so when how long after you entered did you get married?
Like after 1 month after I got married, after 1 month of entry.
So you enter on a visit visa, you tell them you're coming for tourism, your girlfriend picks you up, you get married a month later, and then you apply for adjustment of status?
Yeah, but actual filing for adjustment of status
It
happened
doesn't matter.
at the end of my 6 month stay.
Doesn't matter. You got married within 30 days. That's a big red flag.
Uh-huh.
In answer to your question, yes, I do think they're going to consider this a misrepresentation, and I do think they're going to tell you that you're inadmissible and that you need a waiver.
Okay, so in that case, what would be the solution? I mean, I need to seek a waiver.
Well, I mean, how long has your 485 been on file?
Since October.
Of 24?
Yeah, October 24.
If I were you, I would hire a lawyer right away to start working with you to get the waiver part moving, because you're going to have to show hardship to your spouse, and they're going to we have to think about the answers that you gave on your 485 about whether you ever lied to a government official or made a misrepresentation, because I think it's pretty clear that you did. You had your girlfriend pick you up from the airport when you said you were coming to see the country.
Mm-hmm. So I just filed an application by myself online. So now I think for waiver I should seek.
Wait, hold on. Did you only file an I-130 or did you file a 485 as well?
Yeah, when I got married, I just filed I-130. But after 4 or 5 months, once my priority date got current, I filed my I-485 too. Later on, after 5 months.
She's a green card holder.
Yes.
Big problems, brother. This case is in big trouble.
You're scaring me, but yeah, that's a fact. That's what I was wondering.
Yep. So you need a lawyer yesterday.
So, now getting a lawyer, or just wait for the request of evidence or
No,
interview?
yesterday getting a lawyer to see how you answered your questions, to get you and your spouse ready for the interview, all that stuff. You got to start yesterday, not tomorrow.
So, what could be the next step now?
So a
Just
lawyer
wait for the interview?
You need to see if there's anything worthy of a waiver. Otherwise, you're in big trouble.
Okay.
Thanks, VP.
Thank you.
Bye, buddy. Right. I don't know. A lot of bad decisions in that one. A lot of bad decisions. Have you ever had a case where immigration loses one's entire folder file? Yes, I have. I have had a case. I've had more than one case where USCIS loses somebody's whole file. Sometimes we're able to recreate it. Sometimes we've brought a full copy of the packet to the interview and they've used that. It's scary stuff, though. Hello, Jim. Hello. If I'm on an F1, how can I transfer to an H1 visa to work in my first year? That would be a really bad idea. They would probably hit you with a misrepresentation. They probably want you to go back home and consular process. You shouldn't be trying to transfer from an F1 to an H1B, especially after you just arrived. Okay. Let's go to Red Sky. Hello.
Jim, I'm back. I was talking to you Sunday.
Okay.
You gave me great advice, and I'm flying to Dominican Republic next Tuesday.
Oh, great.
But I forgot about one thing, because
Yeah.
I am permanent resident. I renewed my green card last year. I'm gonna travel with my wife, and I told you that I have crime before green card, disorderly conduct, and you asked me what was there, and I told you I used the restroom outside.
Yeah.
And you said no problem, so I buy a ticket. I'm going to Dominican Republic. I told you about one more thing that I hope it's not a crime. About the same in 1997, I was driving with revoked license. That's no problem?
No problem.
So I can go with no problem with disorderly conduct.
I mean, I'm telling everybody not to leave the United States, but that's not going to be a big problem.
disorderly conduct, a misdemeanor C, that's not deportable because I will never receive green card. I will never. Well, I travel 7 months ago. They put me to the room and they let me go because they see probably on the screen red lights. They want to see. Let's see this guy, and they check me and they said that's not deportable. They let me in, right?
That'll probably happen again.
I know, but they cannot take my green card when I'm gonna be with my wife with this crime that is not deportable, right?
They can try to convince you to give it back to them, but you should not give it back to them. No, you should be able to come back. They
What
might give
to sign 407?
That's right.
Wow, and they really do that?
That's what they're doing to people. Yeah.
And how long they can, if they're gonna think that they're gonna break me down, blah blah blah? How long they can keep me in an airport? 72 hours or something?
I would say something like that. I don't know the exact rules.
But my wife can talk to supervisor and said, why did I help hold my husband? Because he didn't do anything wrong. That is deplorable. She can always fight for me and ask, right? U.S. citizen.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't talk to me when people call me, so I don't know if they're going to talk to your wife.
Well, they're going to convince me to sign 407. I'm going to say, no, thank you. What are I supposed to tell them? Like very nice way that, I done nothing wrong. My attorney told me not to sign. I'm sorry. I don't want to sign. I want to go home with my wife. I mean, what else I can tell?
You could say this, go fuck yourselves. No, I wouldn't say that. That would not be good. That wouldn't be good. No.
But this is, that's sick. I've been here for 34 years and they still do it. Depends on the officer. If he's not nice, he will do it. But if it's like last time, said, well, come back. But there's some people do it. I'm unbelievable.
When are you getting your citizenship?
I'm going to come back from Dominican Republic and I'm doing with you. Because
all right, well, let me know. Let me know how it goes, okay?
I'm going with no problem, right?
Inshallah, no problem.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Bye, buddy. He's getting more nervous as he gets closer to the trip. I remember his call last time. Do you recommend taking an attorney to an interview? Daniela asks. I once had an attorney tell me, I don't go to interviews. I'm just a potted plant when I go to interviews. I think that's total crap. I think attorneys offer a lot of value. I think they shield clients from a lot of shenanigans and a lot of trips. I would say that most people should bring an attorney to their immigration interview. All right. We got some lost people in the waiting room, so I'm going to kick out some folks. They're not connected anymore. All right. Let's go to Zach. Hello, Zach.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Zach. How are you?
I'm well. Very nice to meet you. We've been waiting on here, and you seem to be doing some great things. So I really appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
I'll jump right in. So my girlfriend is a Colombian national. She and I have been together for more than 3 years. We met in Colombia. We've been talking about marriage for a long time. She was actually here in DC on an A2 diplomatic visa, working at her country's embassy. But she went back to Colombia over like the Christmas holidays when the program she was doing ended. Now she's back here on a tourist visa. She's been back over a month, about 2 months, I think. She's living with me here in DC, and the embassy might hire her back full time. In which case, I guess she would file a adjustment of status back to A2, I believe. But she's also been offered a couple different, positions, so outside of the embassy, and she'd like to get her career started. So I was kind of wondering how we should time the marriage certificate and adjustment of status filing, so it doesn't look like it was too soon.
If somebody gets married before 60 days are up, they can get hit like that 2 callers ago with a misrepresentation that they entered on a diplomatic visa or they entered for some non-immigrant purpose, and now they got married. If they get married after the 60 days, you just have to prove up the marriage, and it's a straight adjustment case.
So it's a hard cutoff, 60 days. Like 61 is fine, or is it the longer you wait, the better?
I wouldn't be too cute, but no, I don't think you have to wait particularly long after the 60 days.
Okay. Another question though, we have an overseas trip in May planned, and it's already paid for and everything, and we were wondering how we'd be able to go on that without jeopardizing marriage, work authorization stuff.
You shouldn't. If you're planning on getting married and filing before that trip, is that what you're thinking?
We were considering either that or waiting till we get back. We don't really know what we should do here.
But my brother, you don't know if they're going to let her back in.
That's true, because okay.
This shit's crazy right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's me, I kick my heels in glee and say, thank God she's here right now in the United States, and I see all these crazy things happening with CBP. I'm going to file, and we're going to go on a trip to Georgia, not to Georgia the state, not Georgia the country.
I hear you. Okay. Did you have anything else?
Oh, side character.
Sorry, Helen's here with me. Is there any place in Europe that we could go? Is there any place outside the U.S. that we could go?
No,
Just
no.
U.S. Okay.
Just U.S.
Okay.
Like next county over, Zach. Just until she gets her green card. Next county over. That's what I'm saying.
I gotcha. And then, oh, sorry. What's the form again? We'd file. Is that 130?
For what? To get the whole thing started?
Yeah, to get it started. Like if we're doing the
Well,
marriage certificate, we go to the courthouse like after the 60 days.
There's a bunch of forms: I-130, I-130A, I-765, I-485, I-864, I-693, which is her sealed medical. You could apply for advanced parole, but I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't leave till I have my green card.
Okay, got it. Actually, one last question. How long does it take to get the work authorization now, like average time?
I mean, I'll let people say in the comments. I would let people say in the comments, but probably around 4 months, 4 or 5 months.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye, Zach. See you, buddy. Bye. All right. Let's go to happy people. Hello.
Hello, Jim. Thank you. I have a question. My case is kind of weird. I did some things. Don't be mad at me. I came as an F1 student. Then I applied for asylum. Hello.
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. F1 student.
Yeah.
F1.
Then I applied for asylum. Then I didn't work, but in between there, after like when I was still in my asylum and F1, I got out of school, but I was in pending asylum.
Wait, time out.
Okay.
So when did you enter?
I entered in 2016 March.
And how long did you go to the school that you told the State Department that you were going to go to?
I was there for 3 quarters, like a year.
Okay. And then while you were still on your F1, you filed for asylum.
Yep. Then I got authorization. I didn't work, but I worked something like 3 years later. I worked in the end of 2017.
Okay.
Then pardon?
I'm with you. Keep going.
Yep. Actually, in 2017. After that, time passed and I got married in 2023. Yeah, that's when I got married.
To US
citizen. Yep. So I didn't know this. I started doing everything by myself. So my question is then in between there, when I was applying, I filed an I-864A based on what I was reading. Not that I knew anything, so I used that. But I looking on, okay, they approved my I-130 last year around June, and it's still, but my 485 has been pending since December 4th of 2023. Okay.
Did you file the I-130 separately from the 485?
No. It was a concurrent filing. It was a concurrent filing. Yeah. So, but So, my question is, what do I need to do to withdraw the I-846A that I filed? Because I have been going through the past 1 month. I've been going through these videos, and I made a mistake. So how do I withdraw it? I wouldn't is there an advice you have for me?
I wouldn't withdraw it. So, so you have a 485 that's been pending for about 14 months?
Yes, please.
14 months. Okay. So, I would just sit tight. I would work on getting everything you need for a proper I-864. I don't think your case is being held up because you submitted the wrong I-864. I think your case is being held up because you have that asylum case on file.
Okay.
I assume your I-130 got approved without an interview?
Yeah. Yes, please.
Everything with the marriage is good?
Yeah, perfect. We love it. Yeah, we just had another kid.
Oh, good. And is there anything in the asylum case that you're worried about, like it's embellished or stretched, or is everything true in your asylum application?
To be honest, it's 100% true, because even the person who was hiding why I stopped school, they killed the person who I was hiding with. Okay, when I stayed back home. So my aunt died, and then they arrested the person who was sending the money. The third person was arrested, so everything remained at pause. So that's how I got out of school.
Does your spouse
Mhm.
make enough money to sponsor you by themselves?
She was making money, but when we started having kids, she stopped working. So I've been the breadwinner home, like providing everything.
No. So the big question is, for the
Yeah.
last 3 years, on her adjusted gross income, not yours, on hers, did she make at least, I don't know, $35,000, $40,000 a year in all 3 years?
She hasn't been working since we had.
So
This is the last 2.5 years.
So you need a co-sponsor.
Yeah,
So
but
here's
I
what I
already
would
have
do.
one.
Okay, here's what I would do if I were you. I would prepare a proper I-864. I would prepare a proper I-864 from the co-sponsor. I would get all their tax transcripts, their income, all that stuff. I would send them to. Do you know where your 45 is pending? Is it at your local field office?
I don't know, but I think it's Seattle. That's my thinking.
So I would send them a letter with all that stuff and say, hey, this case has been pending for 14 months. Here's my proper I-864 from my spouse. Here's my I-864 from my co-sponsor. If you guys, I'm going to give you 30 days to decide this case. And if you don't, I'm going to have Jim sue you, and then see what happens.
That's what I wanted to ask. Can I hire you? Because at first I applied everything. I did everything by myself. I didn't know so much.
Yeah,
so,
we can do that. Yep, we can do all that. I mean, it'd be a separate fee from the lawsuit, but yeah, we can do it for sure. That's what I was going to suggest, but I didn't want to be pushy.
No. I need the advice. Like, can I contact you privately about the fees, everything?
Say, send an email to info@hackingimmigrationlaw. Say, I'm happy people. I was the last caller on the Thursday show, and we'll go from there.
Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate your help.
Have a great day.
Okay, bye.
Bye. All right. Couple things to end the show. Number one, I forgot to mention that yesterday after the show, I had this little scratch on my ear, or this little bump. And sometimes when I fast towards the end of the day, I sort of get itchy. I think it's allergies. I think the pollen's starting up. And so I was driving to Walgreens and I was going like this, and all of a sudden, like, all this blood was shooting out of this little bump on my ear. It was crazy. I couldn't get it to stop. It was all over my hand. I was driving like this. I felt like I was in a movie or a TV show, like with all this blood on my hands. I said to Nora, I got to wash the blood off my hands. It was very strange. The other thing I was going to tell you was, I have a client who was able to get asylum from Nigeria. We helped him get his green card from Nigeria. He got his green card based on asylum. And what's the one thing Jim told him? Don't ever go back to Nigeria. Well, he took a trip after he got his green card to Benin, and then he snuck into Nigeria. And now he wants me to represent him on his citizenship case. Do you think I'm going to do that? Hell no. I'm not going to do it, number one, because they're probably going to try to take his green card. Number two, he didn't listen to me, and I don't like it when people don't listen to me. I'm glad you all listen to me. I'm glad we all come back. I'm glad you guys come back episode after episode. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Tomorrow's show is going to be early, 11 a.m. tomorrow, and then I might take the weekend off. I'm feeling pretty spent. I'm sort of winding down. I told my friend Tyson that Ramadan Jim has arrived. He's the one that coined that phrase. Jim gets a little crabby around day 20. There's sort of like 3 tiers of Ramadan. The first 10 days, you're like, woohoo, Ramadan is here, our old friend. Then the middle 10 days is like, and I get sort of worn out after the last 10 days. So we're now into official Ramadan Jim stage. I'm trying to keep it positive, but we'll be here tomorrow at 11. And then we'll see after that over the weekend. I don't know. Ismail's home, so I probably just want to hang out with him. Big ups to all the Yardies. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks, everybody on TikTok. We'll see you next time.